Do you ever feel like no matter what you say or do, your child just simply won't cooperate? You try being calm, you try being firm, you try rewards, consequences, and yet the outbursts continue to come. And if you're dealing with a storm of oppositional defiant disorder, well, you're definitely not alone. But when you learn to create a win win environment, both you and your child can feel like a champion. You wake up hoping today will be different. But the minute you want your child to get dressed and ready for school, boom, resistance, the eye roll, the you can't make me, the hour-long meltdown. What should take 5 minutes takes over an hour. Now the entire house is left frustrated, stressed out, and emotionally drained. If this sounds like your life, it's not because you're a bad parent. It's because what you've been taught about parenting doesn't necessarily work, especially with a strong-willed child or a child diagnosed with a behavior disorder like oppositional defiant disorder, DMDD, intermittent explosive disorder, or any other disruptive behavior or mood disorder. Now, my name's Bonnie Liotta, and when I learned to create a win-win environment back in 2011, my entire house transformed from the most severe case of oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and preteens who just couldn't stand the ground that I walked on. I remember one time going, honey, supper's almost ready, touching my 12-year-old slightly on the back, and he just went, ew, don't touch me. Like, it can't get any worse than that. But when I learned to create a win-win environment for me and my kids, and I saw the most magical transformation, I had one thought. Every parent in the world deserves to know about this. Now, over the last 8 years in helping parents make the exact same transformation that I made, we have dozens of case studies, hundreds of testimonials, and watching these little geniuses come to life has been the most rewarding journey of my life. Now, most of us were raised to believe that when a child does something we don't like, we need to offer some sort of negative consequence to shape their behavior. If you don't listen, you're going to lose screen time. If you don't eat your dinner, you're not going to get that dessert. Hey, if you don't go stand over there and leave me alone for a few minutes, we're not going to go to that fun place when we're done here. Are you with me on this? But here's the hard truth. ODD kids aren't going to respond to negative consequences or rewards. Why? Because a child with ODD isn't trying to ruin your life. They're trying to have some control over their own. Now, we've worked with countless parents who tell us, I can't even breathe without setting them off. And I felt that way too. I know exactly what it's like to walk around on eggshells to try to avoid the temper tantrum or the meltdown. And here's the turning point. When I stopped trying to control my children's behavior, rather learn to understand them better, oh my gosh, everything changed. The positive impact on my family's life was magical. Here's what most experts won't tell you. Your child isn't defiant because they choose to be. They're defiant because they're missing the life skills that they need to make the things that they want to show up in life in a more positive way. From holding a fork to walking, to making it up and down the stairs, to sitting in a chair properly, to learning how to share, negotiate, characteristics like self-control, focus, responsibility, and self-discipline are all life skills that your child must be shown, not just talked about. The truth is, your child will learn by monkey see, monkey do. They learn best by watching you. Now, the best part, when you learn how to motivate these little geniuses from the inside out, oh my gosh, you're going to help them so much. You'll be their greatest hero. They'll come to you for every need, conversation, everything that happens in their life. You'll become their trusted advisor. Once you learn that your child's outbursts and meltdowns mean more than them just pushing your buttons, testing boundaries, or crying to get their own way, the way you parent will completely transform. We stopped punishing and started guiding. We stopped bribing and instead offered parent-approved plans for our children to achieve their own goals and earn their own privileges. I stopped waking up in the morning hoping things would be better and started showing my children exactly what to do to make what was important to them show up. I started working with them proactively, showing them step by step how to do each task to perfection. I role played with them. I asked them questions. I learned to set up an environment that was proactive and in writing, not just offering commands and dictating to them all day long. Now, most parents will say, I already tried everything. And I said that too. However, everything ended up being a long list of reactions: dictating, yelling, threatening, bribing, offering rewards, punishing, taking things away, putting them in a timeout. What I hadn't tried is authentic leadership. And true leadership is about preparing them for the world, not reacting with consequences. It turned out it was about guiding behavior, not punishing them with another takeaway or another timeout. And it was about releasing control of the outcome and allowing my children free will to choose. Were they going to earn a positive or negative consequence? This is the truth about the law of cause and effect. And ODD children are strong willed leader children of the world, and they are just begging, see me, show me how the world works, tell me the truth about how all of these things show up in my world. Because right now they see you as the ATM, and they see you as the only way for them to get what's important to them. Does this make sense? Have you been taught these things about parenting? Are you left every day frustrated, wondering what you're doing wrong? Share with me in the comments. How's your journey going? What do you want to talk about? How can I be of service to you? Now, one of the most powerful stories we've witnessed so far is a young man named Charlie. When his mom and dad came to us, it was the first day of school. They had already called for them to come pick up Charlie. Both of them are entrepreneurs. They don't have time for this. He called me in a frustrated state going, my only goal is that Charlie go to school and stay there all day long. Now, here's a young man who had already been expelled from school and sent to a mental health treatment hospital a couple of times. He had broken the big screen TV in the principal's office, and they were just at a loss with this kid who just wouldn't stop screaming, wouldn't stop having these violent outbursts. So no matter how bad things are, we have coached these parents to the other side, because now Charlie is in a regular school. He goes every day. He does his homework every day. He gets along with his dad. Like, life has completely transformed for this family simply by learning the principles of creating champions for life, working with us in mentorship, and learning how to apply them in their home. So what if your child isn't broken? What if they're simply missing life skills that you were never shown how to teach them? So here's what finally makes the difference from children, no matter if they're 2 years old, 15 years old, or 31 years old living in a group home. Crystal clear, proactive boundaries, what we like to call parent-approved plans. Emotional regulation tools, consistent communication, not just rules, but knowing your roles, and a 100% focus on the teaching of life skills over punishment. Now, when I was learning how to make the transformation in my home, it wasn't perfect, but I still saw quick progress because I was hearing them, I was seeing them, and I learned how to show them step by step the life skills that I wanted them to engage in. And most importantly, it wasn't because our children changed overnight, it was because I did. Now, if you're still stuck in a cycle of behavior charts and endless power struggles, well, you might be doing everything right with outdated parenting advice that does not work for oppositional defiant disorder. Now, what might seem to work for compliant kids just isn't going to work with defiant, strong-willed kids. They don't need a stronger consequence. They need a deeper, authentic connection, a connection that doesn't come through lectures and eye contact or even hugs. Connection that comes by authentically seeing them, telling them the truth about how the world works, and by proactive attention versus reactive attention. So mom, dad, if you're ready to stop reacting and start leading, if you're ready to rebuild the bond that may have been bruised through years of negative consequences, reacting, and defiant child behavior, then let's do this together. We've already helped hundreds of parents reclaim peace in their home without punishment, without shame, and without giving up. Comment below, I'm ready, or share your story with us. And if you found value here or found this video helpful, make sure to share it with other parents who truly need to hear it. You're not a failure. You're just one shift away from a breakthrough. Now, last week I shared my story and the birth of Creating Champions for Life. It's powerful, impactful, emotional, and life-changing. And you can just click over here to watch it now.
Through the 90-day journey, I came to the realization that, in my case, my focus is primarily Charlie, but I came to the realization that my child is not broken. His condition is in great parts fabricated by people that have told him that he is broken, that he can't do it, that he can't do this. He is a brilliant mind. I thought when I embarked on the for Dayton one that you were going to have a recipe book that told me how to kind of like making meatloaf and how I was going to fix it in 2 weeks and a check mark and wear a bandana and sing kumbaya and call it a day. I didn't know that I was the problem. Admitting that I need to work on my delivery, on my approach to better establish it. The fact is I'm 90 days in. The yelling, the screaming, the kicking, the throwing items has almost disappeared. Some people would, looking from the outside, without reading your book, without listening to you, without talking to you and Bonnie, would say the two of you are full of shit. But you're not full of shit. I know you can see the difference in him. People can see the difference. His principal at his school told me yesterday, he's doing great. The counselor told me, hey, you know what? He's doing great. He's made it for 3 months now. I mean, amazing. It's a coincidence that I started the parenting program and he started making it through the freaking days in school. When you know that the day that I first spoke with Bonnie, I was at his school because he was getting sent to a mental hospital where he spent 5 days, where they did nothing of benefit for him. It's by order of the school district. And I had some great inspiration. I had people like Chelsea. You can see their person, right? You're like, why is she here? She's at peace. Her kids seem to be behaved. She posts videos of the kids. I was like, why is she here? Well, she's here because she started where I was.